ask my ancestors to be present for this act of divination. I ask my familiar spirits, spirit guides, and ancestral line to be present and help me with getting clear, concise, and accurate messages for the collective of Cancer for November 2022. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. Yep. Cancer. Nadia. Lampadios. Cleidophos. Nadia. Lampadios. Cleidophos. Nadia. Lampadios. All right, Cancer, so we're going to be doing a spread for you today that I developed. It's called My Spy Spread, and it's just about your person of interest or yourself. It could be about both as well. Card number 8, Cancer's reading. There we go. Card 8. Ah, there you are. Twice. You're popping up all over your own reading. That's good. I'm excited for you. Cancer. This is looking pretty dang good so far. Oh, there you are again. I'm just going to leave that like that. Okay, and then now we're going to do the main theme of the reading. Okay. Cancer. For the month of November, your main theme is coming out to me like in the past you might have been choosing not to see something. You might have not had all the information. I get the ostrich with the head stuck in the sand kind of vibes from the Two of Swords in the reverse. But with the Two of Swords and the upright, somebody's like wants to see but can't see the way forward. They need more information, but they don't have it at hand, so they have to use their intuition to guide them in making a decision that might be difficult. In the Two of Swords in reverse, it's either you not wanting to see or not wanting to make a decision and kind of sticking yourself, like she's like sticking her swords into the ground and putting her head in the sand. So maybe something scared you in the past that you didn't want to take a peek at. But it seems now there's news coming in. It could be from someone younger than you, a potential fire sign. Doesn't have to be. Could be a person of immature nature, like somebody who's a little bit goofy, childish or something. Or it could just be news that's pretty exciting that comes in. And I feel like you have to take your head out of the sand. You've got your head in the sand and you hear like this muffled like, hey, are you down there? Like, you want to come up for air now? I got something special to tell you. Like, maybe you were afraid of having your heart broken, and so you've been kind of not making a decision about something that you might potentially have to. I see like the message, if you had a question, like a straightforward question, your answer is a maybe, with the Page of Rods. But it's fast. It's like very fast moving energy. So very passionate energy, excited about life, kind of like this newfound spark here. Okay. In your understanding of a situation, this news comes in and it helps you to understand that you've leveled up in some way, or someone in your life is leveling up in some way, completing a cycle. There's been a lot that got you to this point, and you're understanding that, you know, you finally have crossed the finish line with something, and you're getting like, you feel that something is completed. You're thinking something is completed. Your intuition tells you that it's time to show off what you've done, what you've been up to. Showcase your talents. Move to the next platform on which to present yourself, what you've been doing. It could involve collaborating with others at a distance. You might be thinking about somehow collaborating with someone abroad, because the World card can be in this space can be like feeling oh god, the wind beneath your wings in terms of travel. There's like this, got the travel bug, call it that. but you are looking for that third element. This is also contracts. So there could have to do with a contract abroad that you're thinking about, some kind of formality, making things official. He's making his piece of work, what he's been working on, official by making it a part of this sconce on the wall, or this doorway. He's permanently putting it up there for people to see and acknowledge. So there is a status with this card. If you've been apprenticing, learning a new skill, this is the card of like, look, I finally have a finished piece that actually looks good. Or I finally am able to begin working on, you know, ... out in the world. And although I'm just beginning this career, this skill set, I am actually seeing the progress of my results out in the world. And the World card is also about progress. So there is some sort of major progress that you're thinking about, and you're feeling it's time to bring it out into the world. How you're communicating. You're very fun this period. Cancer, you'll be expressing yourself in a way that's very free-spirited. You will be telling lots of jokes this period in time. You will be singing songs that are silly, maybe from your childhood. There's communicating with, you know, talking to little kids, maybe. You know, whether it's in your family, or there's a little kid that you're, or a younger person that might play into your month. And it seems like also the Two of Swords can be like the opposite of not seeing. So it can be you're watching somebody's younger child, you know, like you're babysitting. Like that is also a very literal interpretation of what it is. So you could be watching someone's kid, or your own kid, or, you know, and he's wearing the sun as a crest, the sign of the Leo kind of energy. And here it is. So you might be talking to your kids about when they were little, memories you have. I don't have the memory card around here, the Six of Cups, but I just see like this kid being potentially the same baby, the same person, the same humanoid. So, and it seems like you see the baby has a little stick in his hand, like he's got like a little baton thing, and so I never see it as like a flag, and then I realize that blue thing in the background is a flag. So it's like somebody maybe trading in a toy that they once had when they were a child. You might be communicating about, you know, I might want to, or you might be like thinking about how to display some sort of antique toy that you had when you were a kid, that you might have found recently or saw somewhere, and you're having fun with that, and you're connecting and you're talking about it. There's something to do with the progression of a life and the celebrating of that life, and life force as well. You might feel like you're very talkative during this time, and your words might be very uplifting, and you're going to be very honest as well during this time. So, you know, but you'll have a lighthearted, you know, thing about you. So it shouldn't be too abrasive or anything. in your family sector. Also, sorry, I'm going to go back. It could be a photo of you when you were a kid as well, because the sun is like a flash of light to me. You know, there's also the Neptunian card here, and there's something tangible in the middle. So it could very well be like some kind of photo or some kind of memorabilia from your childhood or your kids' earlier days. So in your family sector, your heart space, your home life, and your childhood, I see the Ace of Pentacles. Now, the Ace of Pentacles in reverse is not necessarily a bad card. It's not all the cards are negative when they're in the reverse, and sometimes I don't even like to read them that way. But this is saying that it's been a long time coming for this. Abundance of some kind, something physical. Maybe you've been waiting for something for a long time, or you haven't seen something in a long time, or you haven't seen somebody in your life in a long time. Or the money from something has taken quite a bit of long time in terms of a home situation. If you have literally plants, so maybe a seed didn't take and you're like, oh, that plant's dead, in your house, in your kitchen, you might have an herb garden or something. All of a sudden, you start to see the growth of something, but it's taken so long, you like forgot about it. You know what I mean? Like there's something that's about forgotten things being brought back to life, that make you happy. Your fifth sector, confidence and self-esteem. You might also have been waiting for a new home or trying to get an apartment or a house, and you've given up on it, and then all of a sudden you have the money or you have the house or something comes in when you least expected it. So, and it's quite an abundant thing, like it's a big deal. Okay, so your fifth, your self-esteem, your creativity, or excuse me, your self-esteem and your confidence, fifth one. Fifth chakra. Also fifth house, this could have to do with romantic partners, leisurely activities, gambling, anything you do for fun. Okay? So I see you going to the movies. This month you'll be going to the movies, or a show of some kind of entertainment, business, showbiz type situation, like watching movies on the big screen, or there's something leisurely that you'll be doing that will be like some art of illusion of some kind. You might be going to an art show. You might be displaying your own artwork in an art show. Okay? And you might have been an artist since you were a kid, and you had this little picture you drew, and then you finally see this thing again, and you're like, oh my god, I just finished a piece, and it kind of would fit next to each other in a display in my house. I mean, I think that's what the vibes are, kind of sneaking through all of this. So, also, your confidence, your self-esteem. You might be a little confused about how you're feeling about yourself right now, or how you're feeling about yourself emotionally right now. There's some kind of almost insecurity. You're afraid to be confident in situations because you're unsure of what lies ahead, because things are kind of muddled right now, maybe emotionally for you, or there's some kind of fogginess when it comes to, like, maybe you've been kind of down in the past, and there's this new exciting feelings coming up, and you're unsure of how to step into this, or to unsure if you're expressing yourself in a different way feels right to you. There's some sort of feeling your way through things, and things not always being what they seem. You also might be kind of covering up how you feel right now, or putting on a show for others about how you really feel right now about something. You might be learning how to be a certain way now, a new way, and there's like this, I'm unsure, I'm confused about what things are going on, in terms of my confidence in something, because it's new to you, you know? Um, you might also be confident in something to do with lucid dreaming. It's just one of those things. One of those things is coming through. You might be confused about a dream you had. You might also have a lot of options in terms of romantic partners, but be unsure of which ones are really true for you, that are going to emotionally be valuable to you. You might also be doing a lot of shopping and boosting your confidence up from purchases that you're making to better yourself and how you feel, how you look. I see money poured into some kind of aesthetic or some sort of shopping spree. Sixth house, sixth chakra, emotion, energy, creativity. Your sixth house is about health, so there'll be steady progress with health if you've been working on your health. Eating locally grown vegetables might be an interest of yours. You might also be planning on growing something of your own this coming growing season for you. There is the need to take your time with something, so if you are planning on doing any exercising, just take things slow. Don't rush into anything. You want to start on a good strong foundation and build those muscles, and build your strength, and your endurance and everything. um, Slow and steady wins the race with that. If you're not somebody who often works out, I just feel like that's doing things, getting the form down first and then going crazy with it later, maybe. There's this give me 1 second. Energetically, you might be at a slower pace this period because we have Mars retrograde right now. Everybody will be feeling it in one way or another. So taking your time, make sure you have enough time to get to where you need to be and stuff. Don't, it's just you're gonna feel like you're dragging a little tiny bit, but the practical world could also be very creative for you. So you might start working with plants in terms of craft projects. You might be working with rocks, seashells. Any of those things that come from Mother Earth could be help inspire creativity in you. And you'll be collecting those things outside, maybe. There's this element of taking your time and enjoying nature, but also collecting things and holding things dear, and potentially using them in creative ways in your whether that be in your home, in forms of decorations, or some sort of Etsy thing you're starting, or There's something there with that. Now, your instincts, your survival, your sexuality, sense of security, I see very intimately inspiring times for you this month, period, Cancer. I'm not going to go into that. I try to keep it pretty PG-13 max, and I only do that for YouTube. But it's also like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you'll find out. You know what I mean? This could be a very sexually arousing time for you. That's as much as I'm going to go into it. It also could be you get this new creative inspiration and idea, and it starts off as like some small seed. Don't take for granted what certain creative, passionate drive you have towards an idea or a concept, because it has potential to grow into something much larger. And you have 2 aces here. So there is great potential for growth and new things coming in. So just remember that. If you are a farmer, you are going to be plotting the land. You're going to be seeing a harvest. You might just start seeing some sort of sprig stick up from the ground. And this is metaphorical, because a lot of us are not farming right now. And especially in the northern hemisphere, we're getting ready for the hunkering down of winter. But you could have a greenhouse. You could have, there's some sort of planting the seeds, finally seeing things start to sprout and getting excited about that new growth in your life. So whether that's a romantic affair, relationship, or some creative project that's starting to take off, or a business, a small business idea that's created that's starting to take off. Financial planning that's starting to show some signs of growth. So this is a period of growth, and any little growth or new starts you'll have will make you feel more secure, and that will be clearing up some of the confusion about your self-confidence. I think you're just not sure how things are going to turn out or what to choose in terms of all these opportunities that are coming your way, and don't worry, it's looking good. So what you're reaching for a traditional way of doing things. You might be reaching out to some sort of organization that has a traditional kind of familial kind of hierarchy to it. It also could be, you could just be reaching out to your father at this time, or the leader of your family. The patriarchal, he might be a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries person. This is a card that denotes spirituality, so you may be reaching for spiritual dogma or spirituality at this time. Also, the Hierophant is the teacher, so you could be teaching somebody about how to do things. You might be training somebody at work. It's connected to how people are seeing you. So people might actually see what you're putting out there in the world right now in terms of your what you're completing. Something's done and you're showcasing it. You might end up teaching or be reaching for a teaching job to teach people how to do this sort of thing. It's met with great success and viewed that way by others. Okay, so, and also, that might be your service and compassion to others might be kind of a burden at this time. You might be really taking on a lot, and maybe people are excited about what you're teaching now, or the traditional way of doing something, and so you're having to take it on yourself to help other people kind of um, understand an art form or understand how to do something, and it might be kind of challenging for you just because you've got so much going on, so many new starts, showcasing things, teaching things, it's just a lot for you. So the burden that you're letting go of, either in order to take on more or because you're just finished with, want to let go of something, is you might have been fighting with somebody who is a pretty powerful and dominant female in your life or feminine figure in your life. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini comes to mind. I do have Cancer here as well. But there might have been some kind of arguments with someone who really values herself. She expresses herself very freely. It could be your baby's mother or your ex, your that you have children with. There could have been a combative kind of situations in the past, and you're no longer willing to kind of think about even going there with this person. I see you unaware that you're kind of clamming up at this time. You're kind of going inside your shell, or maybe you're unaware you're coming out of your shell, and this also is something that, like, in the past you might have been unaware that you two were completely incompatible or unable to make things work. This can also, because the Chariot in reverse isn't really a bad card either. It's letting go of arguments with this this woman figure in your life, or this partner in your life or previous partner in your life, in order to bring two things that would normally not work together, in kind of a unison. Maybe there's no movement forward, like things aren't going to progress, but you can meet eye to eye on some things now because you're letting go of that argumentative stage in your life. If somebody bought an expensive car, if somebody made a hasty decision about, or was really thinking of going for buying an expensive and flashy car, I see you dropping the argument about it, accepting that this person is going to do this thing because they desire it. Now, what you are running towards, there could be a water sign or a fire, particularly a Cancer or a Sagittarius, that you are interested in. The Queen of Cups is very emotionally receptive. She is compassionate and understanding and very nurturing. She's a very loving person. This is the mother that you always really wanted because she's so attentive to your emotional needs. So you're chasing somebody you're chasing emotional attention, maybe. That could be possible. But you're also going towards receiving, because she's the divine feminine card. She's receptive to the love that surrounds her. So you might be seeing the love that surrounds you now, and things might be easier for you to understand in terms of the emotional sectors of your life because you're seeing things more clearly. She has the gift of sight, the foresight. So you might have been having a little bit of a premonition of some sort or some kind of psychic clarity, a hit that you should move forward in this direction, and you're going in that direction. So what's connecting this situation or this kind of information to this card is there is like a need for healing. So you might be nurturing yourself at this time, or you might be nurturing someone else so that they may heal from some kind of previously emotionally turbulent situation. You're healing your emotional world as well. You're chasing emotionally stable people, people who have, that maybe in the past didn't have their stuff together, but now at least understand where you're coming from and where they're coming from because they've been there as well. So like there's also this artistic nature as well. She's very artistic. The Temperance card is all about alchemy and kind of tempering something to make it perfect or make it shiny and golden and sparkly. You know what I mean? So there's some, maybe in order to do what she does, she has to wait for things to settle in before she can really get to work on it. So there's a waiting period. Something's taken some time, and you might be taking your time with this new emotionally psychic kind of I'm having a hard time getting it out. Deep breaths, deep breaths. All right. Her cup's up. The Temperance cup's down. It's like you want to catch that love. You know, water is so fluid and it flows through your hands easily. So you're holding a cup up to be filled. I feel like you're waiting for someone to fill your cup, or you're waiting for something to fill your cup, and it could be an artistic form or some kind of relationship of some kind. If you're a painter, this has to do with your painting abilities. Now, what's destabilizing you? Somebody or some situation is taking an alternative means to outsmart or rebel against something. So I find like you find a new way of doing something that's, or you're trying something in a totally different way than most people do it. And or maybe not having a traditional approach to something, to have like there be a freedom within a situation. Yeah. So you need some kind of system in place. You're chasing this rebellious nature, or it was like this. That's in reverse, but like this is in the upright. So we have Seven of Swords and the Devil. Maybe you're tempted to take something that maybe isn't yours. That might destabilize you. Don't do that. You should know that. Preachy. But this is also freedom versus constraint. If you feel trapped in a situation, Now, Cancer, I wouldn't call a claustrophobic card, or excuse me, a claustrophobic sign, just because they live inside a little shell. They're used to the little bubble. But you might be kind of being a rebel and being like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go here. And there might be some constraints, restrictions from authority, boundaries being put up in terms of, you know, your family life with this sort of endeavor, or your home life, something to do with finances maybe. So you are looking for an alternative way to get untied, to kind of take a shortcut. This is the shortcut card. This is the long haul card, and it can be really a drag if you let it be. So there are no shortcuts in this situation. You're going to have to really commit. And I see that you're reaching for some sort of help with something, or understanding of something, or you're teaching somebody something. A teacher may be willing to help you learn the traditional way of doing something, and you might be kind of like, I can do it a different way. I'll take half the time, and really don't do that. Initially, definitely learn the traditional way of doing things, because it will give you a foundation. So this is a card of the 10th house of career, right? This is being bound to the workplace, the workforce, this career. This is what you're building with your own two hands, and hard work, and sweat and blood and tears. Okay? This is also bondage, right? We're bound to the world we create, so we have to be careful about how we block ourselves. We can block ourselves in and trap ourselves in, right? This is like, I'm not listening to anybody. I'm going to go take these swords, and I'm going to just sneak off, and oops, I can't take them all, but, you know, I wish I could carry them all. Maybe I'll come back later and do that. Don't leave things for later. Don't procrastinate as well. There's some sort of really take the time and put the energy in to do things a traditional way the first time, or so many times in the first part of your learning experience. Because if you do that, you'll build a foundation on which you can eventually have the freedom, because you know the rules and you know what works and what doesn't work already. So listen to those who come before you. This is a card of wisdom. This is a card of wisdom. Just follow those specific rules that you can learn from other people, or the advice of others maybe, that are wise and trusting in your life, so that you can get the feel of something before you start to be like, oh, I'm going to do it a whole different way now. Because if we're not structurally sound on something, it's just going to fall in, and it won't work. All right, enough of that. So what you've been kind of leaving, in terms of what you're walking away from, pretty much, is you're walking away about speaking your mind before you have all the answers. You are really starting to mature in your sphere of thinking. That's why here you have the like leveling up, maturity, like ascending to the next level. There's really a great deal of growth in the mental sector of you. And what's connecting that to you is like you just come out of a really trying time, and you have all these new understandings of what peace means in your life, and maybe you realize like you're mouthing off at one point or another in the past has really kind of, or maybe irrational or impulsivity in your thinking and in your maybe slightly paranoid as well in the past has really kind of cost you your peace, and you're not doing that anymore. You're going to take the steps forward and really kind of drop anything that would have been kind of costing of your tranquility. Now, what's stabilizing you is past pains, a broken heart, maybe somebody stole something from you. Maybe somebody stole like an idea or a concept, and or an artistic thing that you developed in the past, or more hopefully not recently, and that is almost like helping keep you grounded now about how you're speaking about things to other people, and what you're sharing with other people as well. This is being receptive to others, but not necessarily sharing all the information. You have the foresight to see when things are taking longer than expected, are going to take longer than expected, and maybe how to kind of get your way around that. But make sure you have a foundation underneath you. And also, this is very much like being punished for doing something that has been kind of underhanded, or being tempted to do something naughty. So, and it has to do with something to do with the home or money in the home. So even if it's shopping, you might have to like curb your enthusiasm with something. Or maybe you want to buy something for your family or your home and you see one at a like kind of a crappier one at a cheaper price. Maybe it means like hold off on that and get the really good quality item that will last a long time, because it might break and you can't get your money back, and then this is also chasing the foresight. This is also chasing a glass of alcohol. So if you've been drinking and maybe you're drinking a little more during this season here, it's very possible because the holiday season's upon us. That's fine. Just, it's just like, being like a rebel a little bit. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Okay, so yeah, but what's keeping you stable is some sort of pain in your heart, or some sort of pain is being healed from the past. There's a healing of some trauma that you've been through. Your foot could also have been injured. You might have really injured, like, or done something to your foot, or had surgery in your foot, but I see this as being like one or the other. Like, it's either you actually had a literal problem with your body in that area, or you this is also walking away from letting your anger move you, letting your impulsivity, you're not making an impulsive move anymore because you've been through a situation that didn't work out and was very painful, and you're being reminded that you're healing from that pain. So you might not be, this might literally be like a cast on somebody's foot, like they've injured themselves, they've gotten a little bit of pain there, and now they're having to like really take their time. This is also taking your time, maybe having to do things a different way because there's an injury there of some kind. And that also could be emotional. It could be mental and emotional too, because sometimes people don't understand, but when we have mental pain and anguish and suffering, depression, whatever, sometimes we don't realize we're not thinking with our whole brain anymore. Like, I feel like we're kind of skipping things. We're doing things in a like kind of a half-assed way when we're not operating at full capacity. And you're walking away from that. Now you're starting to heal. Maybe you found some alternative medicine. Okay, here we go. There's an alternative medicine. It's a very grounded healing. So it comes from the earth, right? So, and this is thinking about things differently. Out of the box thinking. You might find an alternative medicine that's very beneficial to you. It could have to do with like give me one sec. Yeah, it's a nature spirit, so earth spirit. Don't feel stuck. Don't feel trapped. Like there's the ability to see your way out of something. And it might be having to do with, homeopathic medicine. Always consult with your primary care about anything you're taking or doing. I'm not a doctor, but, or somebody's mother and their family, yes. Consulting, this could also have to do with some sort of healing going on for a woman in your life that's in your family that's been having some secrets or, doing something in secret, maybe going through something in secret, and that coming out to the surface and being dealt with in order to heal a situation. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm not going to go too much further in. All I'm saying is that you're going to get your head out of the sand. You're going to start seeing things for what they are and hearing the call of what you're supposed to do, or getting the messages that you're supposed to do, so you're able to see. Maybe you didn't see a message for a while, and then you did, and then that's allowed you to move forward and complete something that you can then show to the world, or start to even perfect even further. There's like a furthering of knowledge. There's a furthering of experience within a spiritual context and a physical, tangible context. So I see you're here, Cancer. You're unaware that you're maybe a little bit being a little bit vulnerable as well, because this is in the reverse. No, I think it's in the upright. It's in the upright. This is in the reverse. So healing from a heartache of the past, or pulling out those pins, This is in the upright. So you're reaching for some sort of car. You're unaware that you're getting a car. You're unaware that you're actually the driving force behind your own life, and you're putting yourself in, you're pushing yourself in the direction that you want to go. Maybe you feel like it's something else, like there's someone else pushing you, but really it's you that's behind the wheel. This is also learning to drive and in a traditional setting. So this could be like driving school. This could be passing your driving exam or your on-roads test. Because I have these here. I have him operating some sort of vehicle as well. So, and this one too. So yeah, you could be getting a car or be learning to drive, whether it's, you're younger or older, it doesn't matter. All right. I think that's it, Cancer. I hope you have a great November, and I'll see you in December for the yearly 2023 zodiac sign wheel readings. All right. Bye.